Really?
I don't remember his fucking name. I'm ashamed for that.
Wow.
But anyway, yeah. So that's my story about basketball, and so I keep my hoops to NBA Live.
NBA Live.
If I'm gonna play anything,
Still playing NBA Live now? Not even NBA 2K?
Whatever it is, I don't know. That's the point I'm making. That's the point. You get it?
Yeah.
I don't. I play Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. Yeah. Okay.
It's so much easier to shoot people than it is to try to sink that basketball into a hoop.
It's not easy. They make it harder and harder every year to shoot. It's insane.
Yeah. And it's, in general, it's
They try to make it as realistic as possible, which gets me upset, though.
It's a fascinating sport. I respect you for it. I actually love basketball. Like, I'll watch it at a stadium, but I have trouble watching it at a bar.
How come? Why?
I think that there's an era of basketball players that people were just constantly flopping and just they became like these kind of somewhat like this era. I don't know about this era right now, but they became very much like soccer players.
Okay, yeah, okay.
And I got disgusted with watching basketball. I was like, this is bullshit. Like, stop. What? Iverson, get off the floor. Why does he keep throwing himself backwards? Like, he didn't touch you. He's like,
yeah. I mean, but you gotta understand is like when you're especially somebody. Perfect example. You bring up Iverson. So Iverson was 5'11". They say he was 6 foot, but he wasn't. 5'11".
Oh yeah, he was 5'11".
Yeah, about 165 pounds soaking wet. Right? Oh, about 165 pounds soaking wet. He's going up against guys that are 7 foot, 6'7", 6'3", 6'5".
Man, he's a beast.
Yeah, and so he's like, all right, well, I need the edge. He's gonna go to the basket, go to the hoop, and he's gonna get fouled. And sometimes he gets the basket, but they don't call the foul on him, so he's gonna have to show. He's gonna have to move his body. He's like, hey. I don't know if you've seen like highlights.
Yeah.
Hey, because it works. It gets the ref's attention. Instead of like yelling at the ref saying, "Hey, call a foul," you just all right. I'm gonna go to the hoop. I'm gonna throw my body into this. I'm gonna throw my body into 300-pound Shaquille O'Neal, and I'm gonna get fouled. I'm gonna get your attention.
I love Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, he's great.
I to this day,
he's a brand.
When I lived in Orlando, like that was Shaquille O'Neal's height. So it was like Shaquille O'Neal, Petty Hardaway was like this team. They not the team. There were other people on the team.
Course,
I can't remember their fucking names right now.
They were like the key.
Right. And you saw Penny, you saw Shaquille, and they like, it was like peas and carrots. Those guys were doing their thing. And the one cool thing about Shaquille is like he went from Orlando, then he went to the Lakers. And he brought it even more. And he was never a good free thrower. Ever. But he fucking still put the points on the board and made him such an amazing player. I absolutely love Shaq. And then he does commentaries and he's a genius.
Yeah, he's amazing. Like that whole, you watch it, obviously you watch a bit of NBA.
Yeah.
Like the whole TNT cast.
Yes.
I think it's the best thing in sports.
They're freaking hilarious.
So I found out about a year or two ago, they don't rehearse, they don't go over whatever they're talking about. The only person they show up like an hour before they're supposed to start. They just get dressed and they go live.
And they just go talk about it.
Just go talk about it. It's kind of like a
That's
podcast.
What we're doing right now.
Exactly. Like
the
only person that really like goes over the topic is Ernie Johnson. And that's the mediator in some sort.
Right.
And everybody else just gets there and they just start talking. And I think that's what makes it so great because it's just so natural.
Right.
And they all go and they're all friends, so they all cursing and beat each other.
And if you're passionate about the sport,
exactly.
I can understand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I watched him on Hot Ones, and he's funny.
Yeah. Oh,
he's funny.
That's so funny. It's so funny. Yeah, I like that. I like that. That show. It's a good show.
I love Hot Ones. Actually, Hot Ones. Sean Evans, and how he interviews and stuff like that. I watch it a lot, and I'm like, to me, it's like a masterclass.
Yeah.
In interviewing people. So I watch him. Like, actually, he did one with Joe Buttons. I actually didn't finish it yet.
Yeah, really?
Okay. But like, I watched Joe interview with him, and he seemed like he was messing with him a lot. Like Joe was messing with him a lot. Was it before? No, I think his podcast was out at the time.
Okay.
But I think his podcast was more new. And Joe seemed like, and Sean would ask, he asked him a couple of questions that were a little like Joe was
on the edgy. Yeah.
Like Joe was like, you know better than ask me some shit like that. But he gave him a hard time. But as he ate, hit the mic. Gotcha. As he ate the wings, it loosened him up.
You have no choice.
And it just like, it really strips this layer. And I think that's kind of what we do here is that everybody has this layer, you know, and people are like onions.
Of course.
And so when you get people comfortable, whoever it is, like you sat down today and you're like, what the hell am I going to talk about?
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know what I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
I know a couple of basic things, and then we're going to take it from there because that's just how I am in regular life.
Yep.
And before you know it, like if there's any connection of and mutual respect, there's, you know, shit happens.
Something will happen.
Yeah, it doesn't happen all the time. I mean, there's times where I talk stuff and there's garbage. I'll say dumb shit. I'll own it. People need to own their dumb shit a whole lot more often.
A lot more people need to own their dumb shit.
Oh yeah. You know, hey, look, we're human. Nobody's in fact. You ain't Jesus Christ. I mean, even Jesus probably said some dumb shit. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Me neither.
But the point is that, you know, everybody says dumb shit. Nobody's infallible. So, you know, fuck it. Like, okay, I had one or two drinks. I can use that as an excuse, or I could be perfectly sober and say
dumb shit.
Retard shit. And I, you know what, we have to give, especially, and I'll use it for Generation Zers like yourself, to go, sometimes you gotta just be like, okay, no problem. When somebody owns it.
Hold on. I'm a millennial.
Are you a millennial?
Yeah.
You're 20.
27.
Oh, you're right. You are a millennial. Yeah. My bad. My daughter is 22.
Oh, okay.
She's a Gen Z.
Yeah, that's a different. This is a different
and so
breed.
funny because she acts like a millennial.
Really?
Yeah, she doesn't. She's not like a Gen Zer because I raised her very kind of old school. She was not coddled the way a lot of kids are coddled.
Okay.
Now, you know, they're very. I hate to say it, but a lot of Gen Zers they have a lot of problems because they've been given everything all the time, and the second they don't get something, oh, I can't use my phone. Well, guess what? You don't have a fucking phone right now. And they're like, oh, God, I can't play Fortnite.
Yeah. But I think the main, and like you said, you brought up the topic of phones. I think that's the main culprit. Like, I think the fact that they grew up with phones, like I grew up with dial-up first. Right. I had dial-up, and then we had AOL and all that stuff. So,
well, there's different levels of millennials.
Yeah.
You're almost...
I'm closer to the 30s.
Yeah, you're closer to the other generation, even though the 30s is considered a millennial.
I think it's like 33 or 34.
You were born in what year?
92.
So you were born in a year prior to the majority of this technology.
Yeah.
So you're not a regular millennial.
No, I'm not. So and a lot of my friends...
What I'd say.
Yeah,
I consider. Sorry.
Yeah, a lot of my friends, we were talk about sometimes not having the internet, and it's like, yo, like we had fun outside. Like my little brother, he likes to go outside, but I mean, even though he's not Generation Z, I think he's X or something like that.
No, I was a Generation X. He's
I'm sorry.
Whatever the next generation.
I don't even know what that
he
is.
might still be Z.
Something. Okay, it might be. Like,
I think it's every 10 years or so.
I don't even know.
I looked it up once, but
is it
anyway?
They have so much more fun inside than we did outside. Like the same one, they have the same amount of fun they have inside is the same amount of fun we used to have outside. In my opinion, like.
Well, fun story. I was looking up something about the military as an example, and they had to change some of the way they did workouts because once upon a time everybody just ran. You would run, and what happens? They kept getting so many stress fractures because kids, your generation, millennials, didn't play outside to the point where my generation did. That your bones didn't build the density. Because it's from constant pounding on the ground, from running, from fighting, from tumbling, from anything, and that's how your bones become hard.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
and they had softer bones, so they had to change some of the workouts and not run these long distances as much as they did. But I forgot where I read that article.
Really, I'll look into that. That's interesting. I never knew about that.
Yeah, it's crazy because it was like how kids' body. You know, your body's changed.
Yeah, of course.
So that's why I'm a big component. I'm a component. That's not the right word. Anyway, I'm big on like going camping.
Okay.
Going places, and you take away everything. It's
strip everything away.
You strip it all away. And there's something about when everything is stripped away, you are forced to adapt and become just a human being.
You have to use your brain,
right?
Too. Yeah.
You use it in a different way. So when you take all that constant obsessive need for electricity, what happens when the power goes out?
Yep.
What you can do? You can run around in a circle and scream? No, you light a fucking candle and you make do.
You figure it out.
You figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Or you have flashlights with batteries, but then when batteries die, you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
There are countries out there where there's parts of Africa is dark as hell still.
Yep.
The largest continent in the world. The second largest in the world. And I think it's the second.
Oh, Asia. No.
Asia's the largest.
Asia's the largest, and then Africa.
Right, in Africa. But the 90% of Africa is like dark.
Mm-hmm. And it's parts of the world that's still undiscovered. And they have no electricity.
You know, you go to the rainforest in South America. You know, like even in Costa Rica, there's rainforest. There's like all these people that'll live with no power.
Mm-hmm. And they make do.
And we're spoiled rotten.
Heck yeah.
Rotten.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I think there's value to knowing both sides.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of value to knowing different.
I just think, like, my little brother's generation isn't going to... Like, my little brother's 9. He's turning 10 next week.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to know. I think he's only going to know one side. It's gonna. I mean, obviously, that'll be up to my mother and I to kind of show him both sides.
All right.
But it's like, it's going so much away from just being outside. Like,
I had a rule that I would tell my daughter all the time. So I at the time I had all the systems in my house. Mm-hmm. I had the Wii, I had a PlayStation, and I had an Xbox. I had a Wii and a PlayStation, had cable with all the channels when I lived in Florida. And I had all my nephews and everybody down for the summer. And I would come home from work. I'd come home at 7 a.m. after working, 24-hour shift. And I was like, okay, why are all you little niggas in my house? I'm like, all right, y'all got to go out, because they're sitting there staring at the TV,
really
eating candy and playing fucking video games or watching like, what's that damn show? Naruto for fucking hours on end. And I was like, hey, yeah, Naruto is good. So I'm like, hey, you guys got to get out of my fucking house. And they looked at me like, what are we going to do? It's hot outside. I was like, drink water. And I said, hide under a tree. Well, what are we supposed to do? I said, play tag. I don't care what you do. Get out of my house. I said, if the sun's out, you're out.
Yeah.
That was my rule during that summer. If the sun's out, you're out. I'll find stuff for you to do. I'll take you places. But for the most part, if I'm in the house or sun's out, you're out. And if the rain came, come inside. No problem. You guys can play games until you're freaking blue in the face, watch TV till your freaking eyes roll in your head. I don't care if it's raining and it's messed up outside. But if the sun's out, get out the house. And they literally would have to hide under a tree sometime, or they're sitting there talking shit. Climb a tree. Yeah. We had one tree, I think, in the block. One stinking tree. I had a bunch of different shit like skateboards or whatever, go do stuff, play football, baseball, anything. Just get out the house and figure it the fuck out. Yeah. So,
wow, yeah, I gotta admire that. I might steal that from you when I have kids.
They hated it, but they, it's valuable.
Yeah, of course,
it's valuable.
You need it. It works your brain too. It just makes your brain work completely differently.
Yeah, they're like, this asshole. This asshole. It's fucking 95 degrees out. I want to sit in that AC.
Yep.
He's sitting in there. He's freaking watching, American Ninja Warrior or something.
And we're out here playing.
With his foot up, and we're out here dying to say, they come inside, but hey, you want to come inside? Come in all you want. Get something to drink. And take your drink and get the fuck out of my house.
Yep. I got to admire that. I'm definitely going to steal that from you.
Yeah. But it was it's a decent thing, but that's why I'm big into camping. Like, I want to go out and take my kids camping. I didn't do it as much as I should have. It's all in Florida. It's too damn hot.
Yeah, of course. But where would you go camping in Florida?
There are places. Really? Yeah, there are a lot of places. A lot of campgrounds. But it's just a different animal with that level of heat. And
the humidity is crazy too, right?
Yeah, Central Florida is hot, and the coast is better. I mean, in the summertime, you can fucking camp. I mean, the wintertime, you pretty much camp anywhere, because they have like way cooler temperatures. But our biology in New York, or being from the Northeast, is different.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Our blood is thicker, and it takes some adjustment. It's like taking a gorilla and dropping him in the freaking Arctic, or taking a polar bear and dropping them in the South. They're powerful where they're at, but you put them in the wrong place, they can't. It's hard for them to adapt.
Yeah, they can't operate.
It'll kill them.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm still, because this is the Church of Beers.
Okay.
I am still, now I'm drinking your mom's Abita Amber Lager. I'm drinking hers, 4.5% ABV. It is yummy.
Is it?
It's nice. It's nice. You ever have Malta before?
Yeah, of course.
It's like Malta, but with
Alcohol.
with alcohol.
Okay.
This is a low amount of alcohol.